I'd like to call this meeting of the Coventry Town Council to order at 6 p.m. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua.
Here.
Councilmember Capaldi.
Here.
Councilmember Shockley.
Here.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Here.
President Lima.
Here, please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In the event of an emergency, those present this evening can exit outdoors in the back labeled 1 or 2 to the back parking lot or front lawn of Town Hall. We'll move to public comment on docketed items. Those who have a public comment on docketed items only, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Mark Lemoy, 34 Island Drive, Coventry. I am the president of the Johnson's Pond Civic Association. Honorable Council, Solicitor, Town Manager. I just want to state that the Civic Association fully supports the Council and Resolution 2024-37 to acquire Johnson's Pond, its dam, and the surrounding land. This is overwhelmingly the sentiment of all members of the Civic Association, as well as pond homeowners that I've spoken to over the last 3+ years. Johnson's Pond has been such a gem and part of the fabric of this community for 150 years. It's such an incredible opportunity right now that the town has in front of them and its residents to take full advantage of all it has to offer. And we're excited about the possibilities that this brings. And we want to expand use of this valuable and precious resource to all town residents. With proper planning and management, public recreation access to the pond, and also the downstream river portion on the other side of the dam can be expanded, provide beneficial use to the town, all its citizens and residents. Successful models of public recreation access, including hiking, trails, parks, fishing piers, beaches, launches, exist throughout the state on many water bodies, both fresh and saltwater, administered by local towns, local communities, DEM, the state. Tuxet River Authority is one example, has many public parks on the Tuxet River with canoe launches, kayaks, picnic tables, and public access. The time has come to place ownership and control of this dam in the hands of a responsible public municipal authorities where it belongs, not a private corporation which has limited and prohibited public use. The many positives of taking the action will result in ensuring public safety by eliminating irresponsible and erratic operation of the dam and providing proper operation and maintenance of that dam. Protection of the environment and the fish and wildlife that rely on this ecosystem to live. Reestablishing public recreation, reinforcing and strengthening the tax base, protecting the waterfront homeowners' property values, which contributes to the entire town's tax base, protecting and strengthening the local economic activity and jobs generated from having and using the pond in this town. Governor McKee, in a press release this past Monday, stated, quote, "Increasing opportunities for Rhode Islanders to get outdoors and recreate improves mental well-being, public health, and quality of life." So we all realize that this comes with a cost. This is probably the most important thing I'm going to emphasize. But the cost of inaction is far greater than the cost of action. The collapse of the Johnson's Pond community would cause major economic impact, not only to waterfront homeowners, but also to the local economy, all taxpayers in town, everyone would be responsible to pay high taxes to make up for the lost revenue due to the decreased waterfront homeowners' property values in order to satisfy the annual town budget. As we all know, the budget never goes down. So the only answer in our minds is the taking of the property and the formation of a dam management district in which the deeded waterfront property homeowners would pay for the maintenance and operation of that dam. For all the reasons I've stated and many more, this is 100% the right thing to do. Thank you. Thank you for all your time and efforts on this subject.
Any other public comment on docketed items only, come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. You can come up.
My name is John Assalone, 6 Veronica Court, Coventry. I'm not going to reiterate what Mark said. And if you've never had the opportunity, and I hope you vote for this, if you've never had the opportunity to go to the other side of the dam, it's like Shangri-La in there. And that's the kind of area that hikers and fishing people, maybe even campers, if you allow it, will respect. I've never seen such a great piece of legislation, so to the point. That was great. And I want to express a thanks of the people on the lake. Some people, seniors, disabled people that were so harassed by the socials. You may have heard stories, but it goes beyond that. I'm glad the public will be coming in. There's plenty of room for everybody. And again, I think what Matt's talking about, proper rules and regulations. And I just think it's great. I have a self-interest. I live on the lake, but I think it's great you're inviting the public in. And I want to thank you so much.
Any other members of the public comment on docketed items only? Just come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
I don't want to be redundant. My name is Ken Goodwin, 102 Wood Cove Drive. I have acted as chairman of water affairs for the Residents Association for many years. There've been a lot of water affairs in the last 40 years. I also, as most of you know, I have been in communication with Social Holdings on a regular basis, including up to yesterday afternoon at 1 o'clock. All the financial demands, all of the proposed alternative uses are still in place. I would ask you to, well, certainly to pass the resolution and take the pond, but at the same time to educate the rest of Coventry, the non-residents, as to the net effect if the pond is allowed to stay in the hands of private use and go to alternate usage. The tax impact represents about a $3 million swing. That's not an audited value, but certainly the people who might live in Western Coventry right now believe that they're about to pay an expense for whatever the taking represents. And this really isn't true, at least as I would understand the ultimate plan of this act. I urge you to do it. The alternative uses of the pond would be a financial disaster. Thank you.
Any other members of the public present, public comment on docketed items only in council chambers? Mr. Houghton, any hands on Zoom? Last call, public comment on docketed items only, going once, twice, 3 times. Yep. Please unmute yourself and state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Shane McGrath. I live at 748 Town Farm Road.
Go ahead, we can hear you.
I haven't followed this every little detail, but I guess the gist that I get is I don't live on the pond. I don't use the pond, and I don't find it that the town should step in here. I think this is between the people that live on the pond and Social Holdings. Most bodies of water in the state of Rhode Island pay an association fee and are private. And I don't see why that should be different here. And I don't see why the tax money is going to go down, because they're going to work this out with social one way or the other. And I don't think it should be. I mean, we have a septic system failing at the high school right now. We have school budgets we can't maintain. Every year it's a problem, and we're going to spend money like this. I don't agree with it. And just doesn't make sense to me. And the Councilman John Bascua seems to be his heart's in the right place, but I don't think he should be. This is a conflict of interest for him to be sitting on the council and voting for something like this when he lives on the pond. I do think it's very unfortunate for all the people on the pond, but I don't think this is the town's place to step in.
Thank you. Last call, public comments on docketed items only. Yep. Unmute yourself and state your name and address for the record, please.
Wayne Wiesner,
And your address?
6 Noella Avenue in Coventry.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
I just want to state that I agree with Shane. My understanding, there's very limited access to the pond right now. There's no beaches that I know of for public access. This is something that concerns the people who live around the pond, not the possibly 30,000 households that are in Coventry. When I looked this up last fall, there was about 600 households around the pond. How accurate that is, I don't know, but and 30,000 in Coventry. That's very few people who have the ability to use that pond. I only know of one access for boaters, on the pond itself. I agree. We have education school problems right now. We're at deficit with that. Look at the roads in Coventry. They need to be repaved. South Main Street, you can take a look at that. That is terrible. This is very costly. What was it? $2 million they were talking about for the schools. And I don't understand. I don't think we can really afford to get involved in this. This is something for the people who are around the pond. So I do agree with Shane. Thank you.
Thank you. Last call, public comment on docketed items only. Going once. Twice. 3 times. Public comment on docketed items is closed. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to take the agenda out of order.
Make the motion.
Motion by Vice President Blank, second by Councilman Pasqua. Discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua.
Yes.
Councilmember Capaldi.
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley.
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, motion passes.
At this time, I will seek a motion to go into executive session for the following pursuant to Rhode Island General Law, Section 42-46-5A2 for litigation matters re Social Holdings LLC versus the Town of Coventry and Town of Coventry versus Social Holdings LLC.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc, second by Councilman Pasqua. Any discussion? Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua.
Yes.
Councilmember Capaldi.
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley.
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, motion passes.
All right. We're all set. At this time, I will take a motion to come out of executive session.
Make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Shockley. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Capaldi,
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Councilmember LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, motion passes.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to seal the minutes of executive session.
Make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc, second by Councilman Pasqua. Any discussion? Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Capaldi,
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, motion passes.
Members of the public, the council met in executive session pursuant to Rhode Island General Law, Section 42-46-5A2 for litigation matters for Social Holdings LLC versus the Town of Coventry and Town of Coventry versus Social Holdings LLC. A discussion was had, no votes were taken. At this time, we will move to report of other town officers and officials, report of the solicitor, Stephen Angell, Flat River Reservoir, Johnson's Pond, presentation and recommendation to the town council concerning the maintenance and redevelopment of the pond, its dam structures, and land to protect the environment, to ensure public safety, and to provide recreational access to the public. Mr. Solicitor.
Thank you, Madam President. If I may, I know the order of the agenda was suspended. With the council president's permission, I'd also like to refer to the resolution in my remarks and discuss it. Good evening. So obviously, and for the public's benefit, the town council has since November 28th of 2022 worked in a different direction to solve many of the issues and problems presented by Social Holdings ownership of Johnson's Pond. There are, of course, 2 matters pending in Superior Court. There's a 3rd matter pending in federal court where the socialists challenged the Dam Permitting Act. They lost that challenge, and the case is presently on appeal in federal court. We are not a party to that case. As I had expressed to the council and to the public at that time, I do not feel that that particular piece of litigation in federal court is one that will be overturned, and I expect that the constitutionality of the Dam Management Act to be sustained. With that said, there have been some very distressing developments, as the public knows and the council knows, since the expiration of this lease. That has changed, quite frankly, the town's response, or I should say accelerated the town's response to this particular situation. As the public is aware, the causation of what has made Johnson's Pond Dam to be unsafe as of the week of April 1st is a matter of great debate. My personal opinion is it just didn't happen by itself. With that said, nevertheless, DEM is not interested in causation. They're interested in a safe dam. This dam is now characterized to be unsafe and in unsafe condition, causing DEM to issue an immediate order of compliance, or I should say an immediate compliance order. There are several components to that. That order is imposed upon whomever it is that owns the dam, and in this case, it's Social Holdings. With that said, I personally, legally, and in many other aspects, lack the confidence that this particular owner will fix this dam to the satisfaction of DEM and for the benefit of the public and for the safety of the town of Coventry, either in the short term or the long term. There really doesn't seem to be a sense of urgency with respect to Social Holdings' conduct in addressing that compliance order. They do not have insurance on the dam or its structures. They don't have insurance, period. They lack or have not providing access or promise not to provide access to the public. That said, and given the council's disposition on this, we, through the solicitor's office, have made an offer to purchase this dam. The offer itself and its contents is covered by the Rhode Island Rules of Evidence number 408. With that said, I'm able to disclose, as I have discussed with the council, we've made an offer to purchase this for $1.527 million. And I would ask that the council ratify my actions to offer that money to Social Holdings in the context of a Rule 408 demand.
Do I hear a motion to ratify the offer?
I'll make the motion. I'll second it.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc, second by Councilmember Shockley. Any discussion on ratification? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua.
Yes.
Councilmember Capaldi.
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley.
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, motion passes.
With that said, we have given Social Holdings a period of time within which to accept that offer or to otherwise offer a reasonable counter offer. As the council is aware, and members of the public may be aware or unaware, for those that are online, Social Holdings in the past had demanded upwards of $100 million for the dam, its structures, the pond, the land, and lowered that demand to $60 million. That's unacceptable. We have an appraisal in hand. One was conducted. I'm sure that the people in back of me, the people online, and people who will hear this in the coming weeks will begin to learn just the amount of work that was authorized and that was done by this council in the solicitor's office with respect to getting us to this point. We have a legitimate appraisal appraising the dam at $2.867 million. It is the dam, it is its structures, it is the pond, and it is all of the interests that Socia's acceded to in their purchase and sales agreement with Quidnick Reservoir. Since the damage that had been done to the dam on April 1st, or the week of April 1st, we took that drone footage, the pictures, the reports, everything that we had. We've made that available to our engineers. The town had hired, at my request, and I beg your pardon, my office hired GZA, which is a national engineering firm with expertise in projects such as this, particular expertise in hydrology and dams. The footage was packed off to them, as well as the reporting of the damage that was done. We have received from them damage estimates with respect to reconstructing the spillway. Excuse me, I'm suffering from a cold. Reconstruct the spillway, the face of the dam, and to otherwise turn the dam at Johnson's Pond and its structures into what would be deemed safe condition by DEM. That would need to necessarily be approved by DEM, our plan. That is why we have offered to purchase this dam so that the town can take control of it and effectuate the safe repairs to this dam and its structures, and to turn it back to proper use at spillway level to the residents of the town. Those damage costs were subtracted from the appraised value, and that is how we arrived at the offer that was made to Mr. Socia. With that said, and I'd like to thank the council vice president for working with me on resolution 2024-37. And I would like to read that into the record for the benefit of those who may see this at a later point in time and not have internet access. Whereas in the town of Coventry in the late 1800s, the Quidnick Reservoir Company, Quidnick, constructed a dam on the south branch of the Patuxent River in Coventry. The original purpose of the dam, known as Flat River Reservoir Dam, was to create a reservoir of water for reliable power generation and downstream use by Quidnick's industrial members. The water impounded by the dam, which normally covers an area of about 950 acres, is commonly referred to as Johnson's Pond, the pond. The mills of Quidnick's members having been shuttered long ago, in recent times the pond has been used for recreational purposes, and the impoundment and release of its waters support wetlands as well as wetland-dependent plant and animal species. Beginning in April 1974, Quidnick and the town entered into a series of agreements concerning the repair and maintenance of the dam and the maintenance of the water levels in the pond to maximize the pond's recreational use during the months of May through September each year. In January 2009, Quidnick and the town entered into the last agreement between them. Pursuant to the January 2009 agreement, the town leased the pond in a vacant 80-acre parcel of land for public recreational use through March 31st, 2024. Among its provisions, the lease obligated Quidnick to maintain the water level in the pond at specifically delineated elevations. During the prime recreational season of May through September, the lease required Quidnick to use its best efforts to regulate the dam's outlet gates and to maintain the water level in the pond at the dam spillway level. When the water in the pond is maintained at the dam spillway level, the pond is full, which is to say, it is at normal pond. The State Department of Environmental Management, also known as RIDEM, has determined that the stream flow and water level requirements specified in the lease correspond to the dam and pond's historic water releases and levels. In March 2020, Socia Holdings, Socia, acquired Quidnick's interest in the dam and pond, and Quidnick assigned its rights and interest in the lease with the town to Socia. Since Socia's acquisition of the dam and pond in March 2020, the town, RIDEM, and the public have been involved in numerous disputes with Socia, some of which has resulted in litigation in state and federal courts over Socia's operation and management of the dam and pond, as well as the numerous legal disputes over the laws and regulations applicable to dam safety and the maintenance of the pond's water levels and stream flows. Socia's actions, impositions, and conduct on its interest and rights in connection with the ownership of the dam and pond have departed from historical operation and management of the dam and pond. They have no relationship to conscientious environmental stewardship. They bear no relationship to best practices dam and dam structure management, and have resulted in or threatened public interest protected by laws and regulations concerning dam safety and pond regulation, wetlands, and environmental protection in local ordinances. Socia's conduct, actions, and positions on its interests and rights in connection with the ownership of the dam and pond have departed from the historical operation and management of the dam and pond, and have caused or threatened to limit or deprive the public of access to and use of the pond. Socia's conduct and actions on or after April 1st, 2024, have caused the dam to be deemed unsafe by RIDEM, causing RIDEM to issue a cease and desist to Socia, as well as a subsequent immediate compliance order dated April 3rd. Pursuant to its home rule charter, which charter was authorized and approved by the General Assembly by Public Law 1973, Chapter 4, Section 2, on November 7th, 1972, the town may acquire, within or without its corporate limits for town purposes, in fee or in lesser interest or estate, by purchase, lease, gift, devise, and by condemnation within the town for public use, and may hold, manage, control, and may sell, lease, or convey such property as its interest may require. Pursuant to the town's home rule charter, the town council is vested with the authority to adopt, amend, and repeal ordinances for the preservation of the public peace, health, safety, welfare, and for the protection of persons and property. Pursuant to the town's home rule charter, the town council is vested with the power to enact, reenact, amend, or repeal ordinances and resolutions for the condemnation of land located within the town as permitted by the laws of the state. For the public use of the pond, including but not limited to public access, boat ramps, parking, facilities, and the like for public recreational use, the town intends and desires to acquire by purchase or condemnation the dam, pond, and associated property at Johnson's Pond, including any and all rights and interests acquired by Socia from Quidnick Reservoir Company. The town intends and desires for public use of the pond, including but not limited to public access, boat ramps, parking, facilities, and the like for public recreation and use, to acquire by purchase or condemnation of the dam, pond, and associated property at Johnson's Pond in order to put the pond in the public domain for public use where it belongs. Now therefore be it resolved, the Honorable Town Council. The Town Council shall consider the approval and adoption of an ordinance to acquire for public use by purchase or condemnation the dam, pond, and associated property at Johnson's Pond, including any and all property rights and interests acquired by SOCIA from the Quidnick Reservoir Company, sponsored by Vice President LeBlanc, and I have signed off on it. Thank you for your time in helping me put this together. I would strongly recommend that this council pass this resolution tonight. My office stands ready to produce for publication in tomorrow's agenda an ordinance that would allow for this council to acquire by purchase or condemnation the pond, the dam structures, and all the property that I've spoken of here tonight that's contained in this resolution. And that ordinance would necessarily be posted for first reading Tuesday night.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve what?
Residence as presented. The resolution as presented, sorry.
We have a motion to approve the resolution by Councilman Pasqua.
I'll second it.
I have two friendly amendments if I can.
Once we, I just gotta,
Scrivener's errors.
yep, second by Vice President LeBlanc. Discussion, Mr. Solicitor.
Third bullet point
You have a line number?
from the bottom. Yeah, I beg your pardon. Good. That's why I do line numbers. Thank you for reminding me. 93. On line 93, pursuant to the town's home rule charter, comma, it should be a small t.
Mhm.
And on line 97, the word assess should be access. So,
I'll accept that as a friendly amendment unless anyone has objection.
104 too.
104, same thing. Oh, yeah, public access. Any objections to accepting those amendments as friendly? Any discussion on the resolution? Thank you to Council Vice President LeBlanc and the Solicitor's Office for pulling this together. I look forward to next steps and moving this town forward. If there's no further discussion on the resolution, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua.
Yes.
Councilmember Capaldi.
Yes.
Councilmember Shockley.
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
5 in the affirmative, motion passes.
At this time, I will move to public comment for undocketed item. Sorry, what's up? We'll now move on to public comment for undocketed items. Are there any members of the public who'd like to make a public comment on undocketed items? Come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Any members of the public on Zoom, public comment on undocketed items, raise your hand. Unmute yourself and please state your name and address for the record.
Wayne Wiesner, 6 Noella Avenue in Coventry.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I believe this should not be something left up to the town council only. I think this should be to a public vote in Coventry itself. I do not believe or rely on the documentation that people, previously to speak here. And I don't think, again, it should be left up to the town council to make the decision. It should be up to the people of Coventry. It should be up to a vote of all of us.
Thank you for your comment. On Zoom, last call, any public comment on undocketed items? Going once, twice, 3 times. Public comment is now closed. At this time, I will seek a motion to adjourn at 8:13 p.m.
Make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc.
Second.
Second by Councilman Pasqua. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? The chair votes aye. We stand adjourned.